Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pocono Raceway. My name is Noah Walter, and you join me live here for the Fun Tyler's Trip 150 here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Here we are here at the Tricky Triangle Pocono Raceway, where we are going to have 60 laps of nonstop chaos going on here at this pseudo super speedway, where the motto has to be "What turn for?" There is none. It's going to be a triangle race here tonight, 60 laps under the sun. We're going to be ending up in the evening, and it is going to be a fantastic day for a race. Greg Snellgrove is going to be starting on pole position, and we're going to run through our grid order in just a moment. But I got to give a huge shout out to everyone that has come over and supported the streams. I know it's been a while since I last streamed. Had to take a break for the Daytona 24, days off for CASCAR, and well, a little bit of just a mental health break overall. It definitely has been a little while, but it is good to be back here in the broadcast booth, and I can't wait for more. But with that, though, let's go and join into the game session and see just how everybody is doing here in the CASCAR Shorter Plumbing Cup Series. You can see all of our cars there. Let's go and run through our grid order and see how everybody ended up. Like I said, it's going to be Greg Snellgrove starting on pole position there with the number 22. Atlantic Carrier Chevrolet with his big rival right now here in the Points Championship. Brandon Fiedler going to be starting alongside there in the 39 Shorter Plumbing Spider-Man paint. It's actually going to be the Miles Morales paint tonight. We'll make sure we take a little bit closer look at that here later tonight. Starting in row number 2 is going to be Richard Drake over on the inside with Brady Floyd in another few starts here in the CASCAR Shorter Plumbing Cup Series, making a return in the number 20 Ford. Then in row number 3, it's going to be Rob Carl and Paul Ems, going to be bringing up 5th and 6th. And row number 4 is going to go to Brian Fredian and Jeffrey Belk for an Equipment Geek lockout there. Row number 5 is going to go over to Wes Gallo and Kyle Mundell. You can see there in the 07 and the 34. Row number 6 is going to be Michael Jennings and Cody Snyder, who also has a new paint there. Cody does. There in the 4 car, bringing up 11th and 12th. Finally, bringing up the rear of your field is going to be Tyler Hallahan and Michael Sparks, going to be there in row number 7 with Patrick Coluccio, Mark LaPierre, and Stephen Black not qualifying. Very interesting run we're going to have here tonight here at Pocono with the Fun Tyler's Trip 150. If you want to make sure that Tyler gets his trip over to New Hampshire this summer so he can attend the race over with a whole bunch of the other CASCAR crew and everybody else that wants to join up, go ahead and donate over to him. I know he'd definitely appreciate it. You can see here as we head down the Pine Straight there in the back after turn 1. See all the nice cars lined up there. Like I said, a very rare start there out of Brady Floyd there in the 20. Welcome back, Matt. Good to see you. Yeah, I know. I thought the last race was on the 6-2. A whole bunch of schedule changes got changed up, so if you want to go ahead and join the CASCAR Discord server, you can check the revised schedule there, where everything has been put together in a much better to read format as well. But most of the stuff is still pretty much the same over on the website. That is going to be www.cascar.net. So, as I said, it's also Cody Snyder got himself a new paint there. That HKS Toyota Camry. Good to see that number 4 coming back with a nice new paint scheme. With that, though, we're going to be heading out of turn number 3. As you can see the text there, what turn 4 is a very good question indeed. Hopefully they can get themselves sorted out there. It looks like they're bunched up there on the inside. It's green flag. I don't know why Chad Ganaus is yelling so loud. But we are live here at the CASCAR Schroeder Plumbing Cup Series heading down turn number 1. See, as we're really far out here, we head into turn number 1 now. Very long stretch. These guys are going to hit up to 200 miles an hour, I do believe. And there, as they head on through, they survive the turn. Good to see. It's going to be some side-by-side action, though, as they head down the back, one of the back stretches, I'll put it that way. Brandon Fiedler taking a very aggressive lead already. Not going to be giving any mercy to anyone at all so far. As we see, Paul Ems has been able to slice his way up into second position already. Greg Snellgrove apparently going to be leading up this second pack where he's holding off Brady Floyd and Jeffrey Bell from getting around. These two are going to be having to battle side by side as they go through turn number 3 before heading down the front stretch once again. See your field of cars as they roll on by. Brandon Fiedler continuing to run away so far. Interesting that he's been able to get such a good start. I was talking to him just before the race started, And, well, he said that he figured out some stuff last second, and it apparently has been playing out for him well so far as he's been able to put on a good show there for that new paint scheme of his. See Brian Fratien there in the 81, holding up his pseudo teammate there of Wes Gallo in the 07 as they try to chase down Grand River Racing there. Kyle Mundell there in the 34 and 8th position. Go and bring up our position so you can see just where everybody is. First few laps definitely are chaotic here at the Super Speedway, so I like to keep it off so the software has a chance to breathe. But there we are, you can see just where everybody is. Speaking of our broadcasting software, thank you to Pierce Graphics who puts together all this stuff for us. I know he's been having some computer trouble lately, but hopefully he can be back strong soon. But always have a fantastic package every single time we stream here for the CASCAR Sugar Plumbing Cup Series. Greg Snowgrove has managed to close up the gap to the leader, Brandon Fiedler, so far there in that 22. And you can see just how much distance he had to make up. He was really far back after that unfortunate start he had, but he's been getting chased down by Jeffrey Belk now. Jeff said he was slow earlier. He was sitting pretty far back in qualifying, and he was not doing so well in practice at all. But it seems like now that he's got his foot in the door just that little bit, he's in a bit better of a spot. Taking a much shallower line there through turn number 3 before heading down the front stretch once again. Just the different strategies these guys try to do to change things up. You can see Brandon there going to be swerving all over trying to break that draft, but Greg was able to be right there on him. Just going to be helping him a lot. However, it looks like that opened the door for Jeffrey Belk to take up on the inside there for turn. Brady Floyd going through a huge block there on Paul Ems already this earlier on in the race, but it looks like Greg has that better run there off of the exit of 1 as they head through turn number 2. I believe the best advice for this turn is to just roll through the turn and hold on to it the best you can. You want to maintain as much speed as possible before heading into turn number 3, where you have to slow down a fair amount to get around to the nearly flat turn at this historic raceway. Subscribe for 9 months. Cannot believe that. Thank you very much, Matt. Appreciate all the support you've had with us, and I hope to bring you up in the broadcast booth once again, hopefully again this season. Heading now into turn number 1, we can see your field staying pretty consistent so far. Heading towards the back, it looks like Stephen Black is going to be leading up. A bit of a second pack as Hallahan, Coluccio, and LaPierre are stuck further back. Is trying to keep your car going straight here can definitely be a difficult task, as we see Wes Gallo here going to be wrestling with Kyle Mundell for position. Nice big battle ahead as well. Paul Ems is going to be leading up that pack, currently keeping himself in 5th position, but you can see just where everybody is behind him, just waiting to get by. Rob Carl was able to win the last time we were streaming here. He had a very big run of bad luck stretching all the way from Texas. So it's good to see him back up here once again. Currently running in 6th position. I think if he can keep himself there, he'll be pretty satisfied. However, I definitely know Rob, and he's going to be wanting to swerve ahead as far as possible. Interesting strategy, though. I keep seeing there out of Brandon Fiedler. He keeps leading everybody down into a shallow entrance of turn number 1 before sliding back up. Everybody keeps following with it. I wonder if he's hoping that he can lead them into a rhythm, so they're expect him to go down, but they just won't know what to do. He's going to be able to do anything he likes, but as we continue to see there, that line of cars is trailing right behind. Good to see, Matt. I hope that it does have a good look. I know that Phoenix is going to be a very important race for a lot of people with all the causes we're going to have there. We'll talk a bit more about that later. I definitely hope that everybody brings out a nice paint scheme there. Out of turn 3, Brandon Fiedler continues to lead. He's got a bit more of a gap than last time, especially the last few times there to Greg Snowgrove behind. Looking at the data, it looks like the estimated fuel window is going to be roughly 20 laps. We're about halfway through our fuel run, just in a little bit. We'll push it maybe up to 23 if you're real lucky, but you're going to have to hold on to it very tightly as these guys are really starting to slide up close to that wall on old tires. You can see them all happening. They got to hold it together if they want to make it to the end of this race, so it's a long one. Pocono is one of those interesting tracks where it just takes a while not only to get around, but to really hold on to each other. Looks like Jeffrey Belk's going to be looking to the inside there of the 22 of Snellgrove. We're going to look a little bit further back. Brady Floyd, you can see they're hoping to pounce from behind there in that 20 Ford Mustang. Won't be too much longer now until a move is made, especially now as we see Jeff falling back a little bit. He's going without draft. Looks like his teammate is willing to help him, stays down a little bit, but just isn't enough as we see the 22 closes the gap. He's going to have the inside here into turn number 1. Greg Snellgrove is going to be battling for the lead. Floyd blocks Belk there now as we leave turn number 1. You can see the 22 on the bottom. Greg has got a fantastic spot to be in. Floyd up into 3rd as Belk has fallen back now into 4th. Side by side, they're going to be entering into turn number 2. You can see that rear bumper of the Brandon was getting touched by Brady there. It's very close between those two. They've got to hold on to this thing. Into the wall for Jeffrey Belk there. That's going to shake up the rest of your field as you see Paul Ems having to swerve on by. Same with Richard Drake there in the 41. They're able to get on by, but that looks like the 55 is taking some heavy damage. Might even have to go in for repairs. So we're going to see if that affects strategy at all. I imagine some increased fuel burn is going to come from that as well. Not going to be helping as there's still a battle for the lead here between your top 3. It's going to allow Richard Drake, though, to catch back up and make this even more interesting. As you can see, that pack has been closing in lap after lap. It's now going to be Floyd going to be battling for the lead as best as he can, but he dives it in real deep there into 1. So we see Greg bringing up there on the bottom, able to sneak on down of that 20 machine as Richard Drake continues to close in. Same with Paul Ems. Rob Carl also starting to close up that gap as well as he's fallen down to 7th. We were at 6th last time we saw him, so he's definitely going to want to make sure he gets up into a higher position. Battle for 2nd there between Floyd and Snellgrove there out of 2. These guys have got quite the race going on here at Pocono for the Fun Tyler's Trip 150. Out of turn 3, they all go. You can see once again. It's still a very interesting strategy to pull all the way down to the bottom. I know why he's doing it. He wants to break up that draft and make it just that bit more difficult for everybody to close in. You have to question its effectiveness now, and sometimes you just don't know. With some of our further cars back are really struggling there. We saw Tyler Hallahan just in frame before we moved over to see these guys heading down that back stretch. Only leaves to question where LaPierre and Sparks are, just to know their struggle, what's been going on with them. Floyd now beginning to catch up to the 39. We can see it. It's going to be a side-by-side battle as they roll through turn number 3. Looks like that middle lane is a really great place to be there. We can see from that 39, you get just enough of the run there from the outside, but you're able to still defend from the bottom. However, we can still see Brady Floyd is very competitive there on the bottom. It all depends on what you're going to be able to do with your car, because if you can't make a move, what's even the point? Snellgrove able to take back 2nd position, though, as we see Snellgrove trying his best to block any kind of lane he can. Seems like you have to question the effectiveness of the random lines these guys will take just for the cause. Brandon Fiedler, though, has been leading just about every single lap so far. The way he's been able to hold on to this race is an absolute stranglehold and is very impressive. I know he did not have the previous 2 races he wanted, not at Richmond, not at New Hampshire, so it's good to see him back once again there in that 39 shorter plumbing machine. He's got the grip he needs. He's got the speed. He knows how to pull away there in that Miles Morales number 39 shorter plumbing machine. Good to see. Gotta love all the Spider-Man paints, and honestly, Week Designs has done a great job putting a fantastic paint scheme for Brandon here this week. Pack also beginning to close in. As I had said a few laps ago, they've definitely done it. Closed up a lot. As we see now Richard Drake becoming into the fray, taking up a high line there. Turn number 1 as they leave. See what kind of chaos they can ensue. Carl continues to fall down through the field as of now, down into 8th position. He hasn't been losing too many spots, but he's got to hold on to it. As Stephen Black has been able to cut through the field, essentially starting from the rear, He's gotten himself all the way up into 9th position. But you can see, though, this has not been an easy fight for him. He does not have the usual speed we see in Steven, where he's able to just slice and dice the entire field straight to the front. It's been 12 laps. Starting to approach the fuel window, and there is nothing that he can do. Richard Drake there beginning to close in there on Floyd. These two, if you think back to the race we don't talk about, that is Nashville. Not Super Speedway, but the Nashville Fairgrounds. And that was a very interesting race from last season. I do not advise you watch it. It's very long and not very good. The racing there was definitely interesting, but these two have a bit of a history there, Floyd and Drake. So we're going to see what these guys are going to be doing now as they continue to race here at Pocono. Very close to each other. Richard Drake has gotten himself into a few dicey situations as of late. Kind of out of character for him recently, honestly. But it is good to see him back nonetheless, putting on a good show. Right in that bottom, you can see the wheel just clipping the bumps there. As they head down now, and it's going to be an early pit stop for some of these guys, trying to make it. It's interesting. We'll bring up our pit lane board, and you can see that is going to be an Equipment Geek stop. They know what they're doing. They got a strategy all planned out in their heads. We're going to see what it's going to do for them. See that 20 of Brady Floyd continues to run a higher line there through turn 1. Michael Sparks into the pits as well. Lap number 30 is going to be our stage yellow, so expect that to come out relatively soon. Not too much longer until we see it here on lap number 14 coming into 15. I'm telling you, Fiedler and Snellgrove have had this race. Actually, Floyd, too. I mean, they've been up here in the top 5 the entire day so far. Nobody has been even able to challenge that. I find it interesting to see the strategies they're going to have to take due to that. They know the speed they have as we see Snellgrove diving down to the bottom, hoping to get a lap lead. He just can't get it. Very close call there. We got to see. That is going to be a risky maneuver I know they won't want to do again. Is there going to be 3 wide entering turn number 1. Brady Floyd on the bottom. We see Fiedler up on top. Snellgrove still in the center there as they continue 3 wide out of the turn. What are they going to be doing down here through the back stretch? We see Richard Drake coming up to support the 22. It definitely looks like we see Brady Floyd without draft falling back. Brandon Fiedler also struggling for pace as well against the draft, but it looks like it's not going to be enough, though, as Richard Drake begins to fall back. Greg Snellgrove takes the lead, a definitive lead at that. We're going to see how they're going to be able to handle turn number 3. You have to ask, where's turn 4? Because that's exactly what these guys all have to wonder now as they run through the 39 right in that bottom, and that's not going to be it. Brandon Fiedler loses the lead to Greg Snellgrove in the Atlantic Carrier Chevrolet. Pulls down to the bottom to break that draft. The 22 has got it. Still a good position for Fiedler to be in, up, running in second. However, I understand his probably a bit of frustration there, especially as Paul Ems and some of these other guys begin to close up. Fiedler now really starting to fall back. Brady Floyd taking that second place position. I wonder if he's easing up on his tires a bit. Notices that he's running lower on fuel. We see Stephen Black going to be pushing him just that bit more now as we go through turn number 2 here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Stephen Black has gotten himself up into 4th position. A great run by him so far. Honestly, I am genuinely impressed. It is just crazy to see what these guys can do sometimes. Get some information there on Steven, up 11 positions. It's crazy. So it looks like we have some more cars going in. Richard Drake just this time will keep that up for him, as we know he is a key role in terms of competition here. Fiedler still running in 3rd, able to keep that up. You see Hallahan and Coluccio entering in as well. Snellgrove really taking the lead on this one. Brady Floyd has not been able to get around yet as he continues to fall back a little bit. Greg is getting himself a bit of a comfortable lead. However, one of the questions I do have to ask is what is going to be the strategy call for some of these guys that are a bit further back from the leader? Is it really a draft game where you want to slow up just a hair so that you get a real big run during one of the stretches and you're able to just rocket on by? I think that might be the play. However, you have to play it very carefully as the leader can move at any point and throw a very hard block. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that here at Long Pond. It's a historic raceway that I believe first raced in 1968. It's got cars leaving pit road. Very dangerous pit road exit we have here on iRacing, just entering straight into turn number 1. Very high-speed turn, and I would not be surprised if we see some LePages a bit later on. It looks like these guys do have it under control here in the CASCAR Short Deployment Cup Series. Now, here's another strategy question you do have to ask. Is it going to be a gas-and-go stop? Like I said, you can roughly get to 23, maybe 24 if you really push it. However, stage laps on 30. Do you know, let yourself fall back a little bit, take tires under yellow? The incomplete fresh ones? You just never know what the strategy call is going to be that you want to take, especially here in the CASCAR Short Deployment Cup Series, where it is a very competitive league. And speaking of that, I have to give a huge shout out to Schroeder Plumbing, who's been able to sponsor our entire series so far. I genuinely appreciate it, and I know everyone does here as well, especially the admins. Really helps put everything all together. Schroeder Plumbing is a family-run company that has been in business for over 50 years in southeastern Wisconsin. They specialize in residential new construction and remodeling plumbing services. They work for several local builders, or they will work with individuals hoping to build their dream home or have their own remodeling. You can give them a call over at 262-971-0401. That number is 262-971-0401. Schroeder Plumbing. Brady Floyd maintains a second place behind Greg Snellgrove, as he now is going to be pulling down into pit road. Snellgrove continues to stay out to take the lead continuously there onto lap 20. Stephen Black also stays out as well. Looks like a big group of Chevrolets did not want to go in. We see Grand River Racing here. It's going to be Kyle Mundell make some moves. We see Mark LaPierre exiting pits there. It is, like I said, a very dangerous pit exit. The speed differential is massive. They've got to be careful. Rob Carl up into 4th position as of now. Now, with the way that this race is looking, this is a dangerous one for sure, especially for some of these guys. And one of the people that have to be careful about here is Michael Jennings. They're in that Checkered Leopard LLC 86. We think back over to Texas, where he's able to get a Cinderella win out of nowhere there on fuel strategy, absolutely taking it, and it was an impressive one at that. See there with his paint schemes have been able to get updated there afterwards. You know that he definitely had a good celebration with that win. So here becomes the question: is he gonna, pull another one of those and maybe get himself another win just because it's a really big strategy race? Who knows? We're going to have to see here in the CASCAR Short Deployment Cup Series. Stephen Black is going to be in the lead as Greg Snellgrove went down pit road. The weather information here at Long Pond. 57 degrees out in the air with a 100-degree track temp. It's going to be a bit slidey for these guys, but it looks like they've got it pretty well under control so far, even with their older tires. Expect Stephen Black, Kyle Mundell, Rob Carl to be pitting in the next few laps. They can't stay out for too much longer. Big battle for position back here. We can see that Paul Ems is struggling a bit for pace there, as we see Brandon Fiedler is able to rocket on by to secure himself in 9th position, but we still have not cycled through our entire pit strategy yet. Currently looking at how this is going as Rob Carl, Stephen Black go into pit road. Kyle Mundell stays out to take the lead, and it's going to be Michael Jennings going to be running in 2nd position. Now there's a paint scheme I didn't talk about that's brand new. It's going to be Michael Sparks there in the 42. Get to see a different perspective of this driver, Sparks, who we do not always get to see there with this brand new paint scheme to celebrate his new puppy over at home, and we wish him the best of luck with his new dog. It is great, and you can see the name that he has decided to go with as a joke to Jeff and the whole mess that's over in the Discord server, and you can watch if you go ahead and join our Discord, which you can access through our website. That is going to be www.cascar.net. Yes, Brady Floyd is in this race, currently running in 14th position. There with the forcloak.net number 20 Ford. Only Ford in the field. Speaking of our manufacturers, go and bring that up and see how everybody is doing in that case. So you got two Chevrolets in the lead. Mundell now pitting in. Jennings continuing to stay out. I think he might be trying to push it. Singular Ford. As I said, though, Michael Jennings, also otherwise known as Mr. Hybrid, able to stay out, got himself the lead. This is definitely impressive. Currently, the lead car that's been able to pit in the earliest, as we saw on an alternate pit strategy, is going to be Brian Fradienne. He's got his teammate Jeffrey Belk behind him there in the 55. So 81 and the 55 are going to be running away as far as they can right now. And also, Brian Fradienne got himself a new helmet. We've been gone a while, and there is just so much for these guys that they've all done, and we support them greatly. We're going to join along with Jeffrey Belk from his interior camera view and see just how they're doing at Pocono. See, they're letting off for turn number 2. You just have to do it. There's no other alternative. Smooth acceleration to head down the front stretch. Very interesting style of all the grandstands and everything out there. Nice plain view up straight ahead. It's pretty, and it is very distracting if you are not paying attention. Nice long trees here in Pennsylvania. Drafting behind your teammate, you can see the strategy you have to take for turn number 1. Slow down for it, but he's got it under control as the draft begins to build up. A car alongside as well, going to make this that much more interesting. So we're heading into turn number 2. Bit of a higher line there. It's going to be Brian on the inside. As it closes in to Brady Floyd ahead. See those rumble strips there in turn number 3 at the bottom, making it very interesting. If you try to take a very short line, it does not always end up well, as we can see just how tight the draft is here at Pocono. Bumper to bumper, they're going to be heading into turn number 1. You got to take it slow. You can see Jeff lets off there. He does not know where Brady wants to brake. Takes it easy so that he does not get himself into too much trouble as he swoops down on the inside, as Richard Drake is going to be pulling out ahead here of the 55, and we're going to end our inboard camera. Thank you very much to Jeffrey Belk and to Fort Worth Media for letting us do such a very cool camera. Find out more about our broadcasting services or our partner, Piercecraft. You can go check out our website. That is going to be www.fortcloak.net. Find your broadcasting services or any other media house service that you require. Michael Jennings is heading down pit road right now. We can see him as he's going through there. Jeffrey Belk is going to be in the lead as soon as he crosses the line this time across, making it that much more interesting for these guys. Currently, the guys a lap down will be coming back pretty shortly. It's going to be Drake, Floyd, and LaPierre. How is West doing win from Rick? Very funny. Very funny. Wes Gallo currently running in 3rd position right now based on his pit strategy. He's going to be in a great spot here for the upcoming caution flag. It's going to be the 07. Coming up shortly. There he is. Got a teammate behind him there, a Brandon Fiedler, who's been able to dominate the first part of this race. I'm sure he's going to want to help him as well as soon as he can, as we see that 07 weak designs running well. Starting to fall back a little bit now, down into 5th, as Paul Emps is able to secure himself 4th position for now. Not too many laps left, as Jeffrey Belk is going to be in the lead with his teammates right behind him, both in 2nd and 3rd. He's got a nice cushion. As soon as I say that, though, Brian Fradienne looks down to the bottom. Is Brian going to be gunning for a stage win here in CASCAR? He just might be. Takes that bottom lane. He's got it. Brian Fradienne, your new leader here at Long Pond, Pennsylvania, Pocono. A lot of good camera views here at this track. The tricky triangle. And you definitely know why they call it that. You have to pay attention to every single turn you're at here. It is no just holding down the throttle and hoping for the best. I want to thank everybody that's been able to come out to our event so far. I greatly do appreciate it. And I know that everyone out here does as well. They all get some nice sponsor time. And sometimes it's always just good to put on a show for your friends and family. So thank you very much for joining us here on twitch.tv/4cloak. And if you have any questions, make sure you throw them up in the chat. Makes our races that much more interesting. As Brian Fradian is going to be in the lead. Lap number 30 is going to be your stage, so we're going to keep an eye to see what these two teammates are going to be doing to battle out who gets it. But it looks like Fradian definitely has a upper hand advantage there in turn number 1. He just has that turn figured out as that gap continues to extend, even with draft to his teammate there behind. Thankfully for Jeffrey Belk, it looks like he was able to recover some time after he hit the wall earlier on in this race. It's good to see him back in action. Teammate of Brandon Fiedler behind, beginning to close in, currently 2 seconds back. We're going to see how long that takes, though. Let's go and bring up our current battle forecast for Jeffrey Belk and Brian Fradian to see what it has to say. They're running a similar pace, meaning that this is going to be definitely, there we go, update to 228 laps. We don't have that much time, and something tells me that it's not going to be working out that way very well. Closing in a lot there for the 55, right behind the Victos 81. Very competitive in these two teammates. Equipment Geek Racing has definitely needed some more points to help out their championship battle, especially against Great White North Racing, who is always here every single week, week in and week out. And right now, it's turned out real well for him. Able to take 1 and 2 here. 1, 2, 3, my apologies. You're in the stage. So we're on lap number 29. We'll have to do one more time around. We're going to see who gets it between Belk and Fradian. Heading down the front stretch, it looks like, ooh, Jeffrey Belk has a bit of a parachute there. There on the quarter right. Interesting to see. It looks like that damage definitely is still there. However, that might be helping him a little bit in terms of getting just that hair more downforce he needs to try to get around his teammate. But it looks like those tire wears are just coming in too much. I don't know what he's going to be able to do. As we see Paul M starting to close up to Brandon Fiedler behind, it's going to be a battle for third more than anything here at Pocono. As they gun through turn number 2, that Equipment Geek Racing number 39, Miles Morales, Schroeder Plumbing, Toyota Camry has gotten himself a very competitive race car here today. We're going to see what he's going to be able to do very soon as he dives down on his teammate, but it looks like it's not going to be enough here at Pocono. We're going to see as they're going to continue to battle. Brian Fradian, though, is going to be able to cross the line and take himself a stage win. There it is. Lap number 30 completes, and it's a side-by-side there as the yellow comes out here at Pocono. A very impressive battle. Looks like Jeffrey Belk was able to get it by just a hair over Brandon Fiedler there for the stage points. We'll be right back. Make sure we bring up our stage winner. Thank you very much for tuning in. All right, a very long pace we have here at Pocono. Going to head it back in to see your stage winner, Brian Fradian. I'm going to bring him up and see how he is doing, how he's feeling after that stage win. I know that he definitely must be happy with that. Brian, so with the booth, do you read me?
Hello.
Well, congratulations on the stage win there for that 81 machine. How did you do it?
I used my brain, and well, honestly, it was just one of those things of the four of us, Wes, Cody, Greg, or Jeff, and I were all in a line, and we kind of were like, we kind of need the draft in order to keep pace. So why don't we just come in now and see if it works? And I did.
Clearly, very much so. I mean, honestly, the impressive battle between yourself, Belk, and the way that Fiedler was able to catch up is definitely impressive, but you were able to hold on to it right until the very end now. How is this going to affect your strategy later on?
Well, I don't want to. I want to play my cards kind of close to the chest, but I've got an idea that may work. If not, it'll fail spectacularly, but it's worth risking.
So what you're telling so what you're telling me is we're in for a show either way.
Yeah, hopefully.
Fantastic. That is great to hear. But a fantastic run you've had so far here at Pocono. Never fails to impress you and that Victos machine. Who do you have to thank for such a great race car here tonight?
I just want to thank the guys at EG, my Aunt B, my parents, and my wife, just everybody involved. They've all been helpful, and it's wonderful to have them around me.
All right. Well, thank you much for your time, Brandon. Brian, I am so
Close enough.
sorry.
It's fine. We both have B's and F's.
I know. Crap. Thank you much for your time, Brian. I do appreciate it, and we'll hopefully speak to you soon.
Sounds good.
Brian Fradian able to secure himself the stage win here in the CASCAR Shorter Plumbing Cup Series. Very impressive run he had. Greg Snellgrove be running up currently. As it looks like our pit board is very excited there for all the positions. Brandon Fiedler now running in second. Stephen Black, though, currently in third. That is going to be a sight to see. One that I know a lot of people are going to be very interested in, as it makes this race that much more interesting now with Stephen finally back into the fray after starting from the rear. Able to come up into third. Very impressive run he was able to have. All right, if you have anybody you want us to bring up here in the broadcast booth, make sure you mention it over out in chat. We can always try our best to bring them up and have a nice conversation. Gotta love these guys. They all have some very distinct personalities, I'll put it that way, and it's fun to mess with them all. Currently sitting in the pits is Brady Floyd there. Looks like he's on a bit of a struggle right now. I'm not sure quite what's going on, so we'll have to check in with him a bit later. Let's go and bring up somebody we don't usually talk to, Paul Ems. Paul, it's open the booth. Do you read me?
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Currently running in 5th position. You've had a very interesting race so far. You've been able to stay around 5th this entire time, be a pretty competitive car, and the blocks you've been able to throw are pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's been a pretty wild race up front. I mean, it's got to be one of the more exciting races I've seen this year. It's been fun. I think we got lots of speed here. Steven's up here now, which concerns me, but it should be a good second half.
Definitely, I do believe so. What is going to be your strategy going forward now that not only is Steven up there, but a lot of the fast guys are all on fresh tires, and there's going to be a lot of pressure?
Yeah, I think it's going to get very interesting. There's no saving tires here. Shorter second half. It's just going to be full out, and see who's still standing at the end, I think.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Well, I got to thank you very much for your time, Paul. I do appreciate it. Who do you have to thank for such a great race car?
Just myself, because I've been fast here all day trying to help the team, but no, I'm just kidding. We've done a little practice. The truck race I was fast last night, too. Yeah, this should be good. I'm excited here.
All right, thank you much for your time, Paul. I do appreciate it, and good luck.
Thanks, Noah.
Paul Ems there in the 28 Hooters machine. Going to be trying his best to put on a good show for us all. Starting in 4th, it looks like. Actually, no. He's going to be starting 3rd. Good for him, as Rob Carl is going to be there up in 4th. It's going to be an exciting start at that. We get to see the 39 and the 98. They're just going to be Brandon Fiedler and Stephen Black. Going to be starting side by side. Two fast cars. Very interesting racetrack here at Pocono. The Tricky Triangle, where you ask where is turn number 4, and I got to give a huge shout out to Tyler, who wants to have a nice trip this summer to New Hampshire to catch the NASCAR Cup Series race over in Loudon. So make sure you go ahead and check out Tyler's stuff so you can give him a bit more encouragement to join up. With that, though, the iRacing.com Motorsports Simulation Pace Car pulls off here in the front stretch, and it's green flag! Here, Stephen Black takes a fantastic start, able to just rocket alongside there. The 39, he's got a big boost from Rob Carl behind as they rocket down to turn number 1. Brandon Fiedler has got that pace that he's finally been looking for. Stephen almost catches him off. As they run through turn number 1, this is the scariest part of the entire track when everybody is all built up together, but it looks like they've been able to handle it well. Stephen Black takes the lead still. Brandon Fiedler, though, is going to be right there behind on fresh tires. He's got a lot of pace there in that Schroeder Plumbing car. This comes up to the outside to see if he can take it there in turn number 2. Steven slows down a bit on the bottom. Brandon's got it, but they're going to be side by side there off of the exit of 2 before heading into 3. Still side by side battles behind as well. We see Ems and Carl duking it out there for 3rd. Side by side now entering and leaving turn number 2. Just that fast it is. And Brandon Fiedler's ahead. Whoa, huge slide there out of Patrick Coluccio all the way down out of the way. Does not want to get himself involved in any accidents, though. As we see Brandon Fiedler there now leading the race. He's got Stephen Black, though, on his inside as they ride it through the turn. Been able to complete our stage. There is no more planned yellows, so any yellows we see after this are going to be accidents. Whoa! Big slide up there out of the 98 in front of Fiedler as they run down. I think Brandon is going to be looking for any opportunity he can to get around by. We know that Steven is a fantastic blocking machine. See what he's going to have to do to put up a fight. This is now going to be a battle for 4th between Ems and Drake. Ems has got it for now. As soon as I say that, though, Drake's got it. He's got 4th. As your battle for the lead continues to play out there. 39 looks down to the bottom, side by side, through the front. This is a good points day for Carl. It's starting to look like got himself up into 3rd position. Maybe his bad luck really is starting to turn around, and it's not just a one-off. He was able to get that win last time we raced. Very good bottom line there out of the 39. I think Steven's trying to save his tires up just that little bit more, but Fiedler is able to rocket off of turn number 1. He's got himself a nice big gap away, but this is going to be a close battle nonetheless as we continue to race here at Pocono. We'll say roughly lap number 35 is when they started again, a bit earlier than that. So you have to think around lap number 55 is when they're all going to have to pit. Nobody can make it straight to the end except for, of course, maybe Michael Jennings, but that is it. Everybody else is going to be very close when it comes to the end and is going to have to go in. Carl continues to lead up that second pack there. You can see with that number 2, big slide there out of Ems as well. They're going to be 3 wide. Tyler Hallahan finally got himself up into a higher position. He had a very struggling earlier on in this race, but he's back in it now. And it looks like Kyle Medell has pinged out of the race. Unfortunate there for that 34 Grand River Racing machine. Side by side for the teammates there between the 28 and the 88 now as they head down the backstretch. The Moose machine there on the outside, hoping to remain competitive. We hop back up to your leaders side by side once again. Fiedler continues to lead here at Pocono, but it looks like it is going to be Stephen Black taking it as of now. Starting to give me some vibes back to the last real-life Pocono races we had here with the NASCAR Cup Series. Hopefully we won't have any sudden random tire blows. Fiedler takes the lead once again across the start-finish line. That's going to be a good for him. However, it is not quite enough to shake Stephen Black away, as they're going to be side by side. Richard Drake filling up that rearview mirror, though, of the 2. Does not want to let up at all. Anything he can do to make Carl's life that little bit more difficult he wants now, as Hallahan continues to ride in 5th. I think he's finally found that speed in his car he was looking for this entire race. I get it, that car can be a struggle sometimes. It needs some time to work up and to be a car of its own, but he's finally got it now, and Hallahan has got himself a good ride. Hopefully he can hold on to it and get himself a nice top 5, some good points. He's had a bit of a tough season so far, especially after last time. Sophomore season last time did not go so great, but now that he's finally back in it here in the CASCAR Shorter Plumbing Cup Series, I'm sure that Tyler's ready to put on a show. Side by side, they continue to go here at Pocono. Actually, no, not side by side. Stephen Black gets a nice big run, just gotten himself into the lead. So Cody Snyder pulls out of line a bit further back. Once again, we get to see Cody's new paint scheme there in the number 4 HKS Toyota. He's got a teammate behind of Brian Fradian there still as well. See Brady Floyd here is able to be up towards the front for a lot of this race, but he's now down in 11. Some of these guys that were up front earlier on are now struggling for pace here in the back. I have to wonder what the tire strategy is and what all the plans are. Sometimes it's just not clear. See the 42 of Michael Sparks there, and the That paint scheme. There in his 42 machine, he's got himself a pretty good spot as of now, running in 9th inside the top 10. He's in his rookie season. He's been doing pretty good so far. He's basically got the Rookie of the Year essentially strapped down. Nobody really challenging him enough to take it. Will Cloud has not attended enough races to really put a dent in his lead. However, we can see that Sparks has definitely been improving these last several races. Got himself into the top 10 now. See how that continues to develop here tonight. Is Brady Floyd able to rocket by up into 10th now? Looks like Richard Drake has finally been able to get around Rob Carl. He's got it. I think Rob is feeling the pressure just a little bit now. He's got the 28 right there up behind him, pulling up his rearview mirror, and he's looking straight through the rear spoiler there of the 41 in front of him. It is a tough place to be when you're essentially boxed in like that, because if you pull out, you just instantly fall back because you don't have pace otherwise. Stephen Black has been able to continue his lead. However, Brandon Fiedler has been reeling him in as much as he can, and that gap has absolutely shrunk since the last time we have checked on these two. It is impressive just to know the pace that these guys are able to hold on to. Don't know how they do it. Looks like Brandon really does have something figured out here at Pocono, and Steven is just being Steven as usual. If you look to the outside there for the 39, not going to be able to happen there. Almost into the wall there, off two. Unfortunate for Fiedler as Black continues to run away. However, it doesn't look like for long as 39 is able to close in right up again. Turn 3 might be the really strong suit there for that 39 Miles Morales Schroeder Plumbing machine. A bit further back, Brady Floyd continues to cut through the field here at Pocono. Got himself up into 8th position there, looking to the inside of Snellgrove. It looks like he's going to be able to have it there as he dives down. He's got 7th. Brady Floyd has been on the move as he's now closing up to Hallahan in front, who is running in 6th. Being the only Ford in the field, he does not have a manufacturer ally with him at all. He has to really hope that somebody is just willing to work with him, and, well, so far, doesn't look like a lot of people are. However, he's gotten himself in a good spot, running in 7th. It's going to be a battle for it, though, as we see Greg Snellgrove on the outside. People filing up to help Greg, not Brady, as we head down the backstretch into turn number 2. Hallahan still able to hold on to 6th position there. He's got Ems in front of him now. He's closing up to Carl also ahead. This is a really close battle between all these guys up here. I mean, the way they've been able to hold on to it is definitely impressive, especially for a track like Pocono. I mean, this is one of those super speedways where it's not just hold to the floor. Very few are like that. So it's good to see that these guys have to really try and put some effort in, brake, and drive the car. I will be honest and have to say that on iRacing, I think Pocono definitely puts on some of the best racing we get to see, not here in just the CASCAR Short League Cup Series, just about all the time. It's always fantastic racing. A little bit loose there for the 88 there off of turn number 1. As we see Brian Fradienne heading down to the inside. It looks like he's going to try to take it. It's going to be Fradienne now up into 6th position. Hallahan and Fradienne continuing to fight, and it looks like it just a bit more straight line speed there out of Hallahan. Fradienne files in there as they head into turn number 1. Nice block there out of Hallahan on the bottom. Not going to be letting these guys through. Fun Tyler's trip, man. They're going to go to New Hampshire to be good to see these guys all out in the States. See, there's a whole bunch of them run out in Canada. It is CASCAR after all. As the lead continues to be a battle, it looks like Brandon Fiedler has been able to get on by, as it looks like Richard Drake has closed in enough to make it interesting. It's now going to be a 3-way battle for the lead. We see Fiedler there on the bottom. He's got the manufacturer ally in Drake, but it really depends. Who does Richard Drake want to be nice to today? It looks like it's going to be Stephen Black, as it looks like Brandon Fiedler pulls off early here at Pocono. A very interesting race strategy he has. He's going to be tanking down through the field. And it looks like not anybody is really going to be going with him. Unfortunate. Not even his teammates, Fradienne or anybody. Wow. And I was expecting Brian to go in. No, Brian definitely did say that he has a very interesting strategy in the works, and it's going to be a spectacular event either way, whether it succeeds massively or absolutely fails. Or to keep an eye on that, he's currently running in 4th position. Battle for the lead is going to continue to play out, though. So head up towards the front. However, it does look like Stephen Black is going to be able to pull away just that little bit until we get to the turns. Looks like Drake definitely has a bit more speed there. As soon as I say that, though, Black really begins to pull away. You just never know. It looks like these two are going to be pulling down early as well. They do not want to get themselves caught up in any kind of drama when it comes to finishing position, as Brian Fradian stays out to take the lead essentially unchallenged. Greg Snowgrove, Wes Gallo, Jeffrey Bell, Michael Jennings going to be way further back. Going to have to fight to get up to him. Puts Michael Sparks right now running in 6th position, a bit further back from these guys. However, he's in a good spot, and as long as he's able to keep that car rolling forward, maybe take a bit earlier of a pit stop, he can get himself into a good fighting position. There we go. Snowgrove there running in 2nd. I think he's getting a little bit sick of seeing an Equipment Geek car in front of him. However, he's got to really put the gas to him, as it looks like Wes Gallo is going to pull alongside Greg there as they head through turn number 2. Not enough, though. That 07 is going to be turn 3. My apologies. As it looks like he really falls back there. Just does not have the tire grip he wants to make anything happen there. See Jeffrey Bell stalking just a little bit further in the back, hoping to make some moves. And same with Jennings, though, only even further back, just waiting. Honestly, I think Michael Jennings might be trying to take up as much of that draft as humanly possible. And if he can get all of it, then he's going to get himself into a position where he can just be wherever he wants later on. Not a bad plan, I can't lie. Let's see our tire stints for these guys here. Over on the left-hand side of your screen, thank you to Pierce Graphics for giving us our overlay package every single week. I greatly appreciate it, and I know everyone over at home does too. Able to give us some nice visuals to look at as we see Wes Gallo has gotten that 2nd place position. A bit of help from his teammate as well from behind when it comes to draft. Bit of a dive bit later, and that's going to pay off well so far. However, that bottom definitely has some speed to it. Is there going to be a side-by-side battle down the front? And as soon as I say that, it is not. With no help, Greg Snellgrove has to fall to the back. As Brian Fradian continues to lead, Wes Gallo takes 2nd place. I think that it's up to Greg to kind of just take the position and run with it for as long as possible. No sense in junking your car this close to the end. It's only going to make things more difficult. Get to follow along a little bit closer here with your leaders, your top 4 all up here. All taking a very different strategy to the cars behind. Brandon Fiedler, the first car to pit in on this new strategy, is getting his mirror absolutely filled by Stephen Black. And now it's going to come to the traffic management game. They've got Brady Floyd in front of them. Now they have to choose. Keep in mind that Brady also has a choice here. He can block whoever he so pleases. And if he does not want to let Steven, or he doesn't want to let Blandon by, well, too bad. See, Black has been able to get around Brandon there up into 8th. So these two are going to continue the battle, which slows them both down. Gallo holds on to 2nd position there in the 07 week designs. Toyota Camrys all 1, 2, 3. See Jeffrey Bell there running in 3rd there in that 55. He's getting a bit of a draft from behind there from Snellgrove, which does help. Sticking behind his teammates. Sometimes you really just do have to ride out the laps for as long as possible. We got 10 to go this time across the line. It's starting to come down to the wire to see what anybody's going to be able to do. It's a pit strategy that is incredibly close, and I think I'm starting to get the picture that Brian was going for. He's going to try to stick it out the entire way. I don't know if he can do it. But if he can, it is going to be a fuel-saving milestone. For that, or for his teammates that might be able to save a little bit better because they don't have to push through the air. Your stage winner, potential race winner. Thank you once again to everybody that's been able to come out to our race weekends. I know I greatly do appreciate it, as does everyone out in the field. It makes for some fantastic racing events, and we're glad to have an audience to put it on too. Got to also give a big thank you over to our sponsor, Schroeder Plumbing. They are a family-run business that has run for over 50 years in the southeast Wisconsin area. They specialize in residential new construction and remodeling plumbing services. They also work with several local builders, and they will work with individuals hoping to build their dream home or do their own remodeling. You give them an office number call over at 262-971-0401. That is 262-971-0401. Thank you once again to Schroeder Plumbing. Now, some of these guys also do put on some of their own in-car streams, but we're going to see if we can take advantage of that a bit later on, potentially. We're going to have to see. We're going to look into that. Still, Brian Fradienne continues to lead here at Pocono, ahead of his teammates Wes Gallo and Jeffrey Belk. Greg Snowgrove has contented himself there with 4th as of now. He's got to wait to find a good time to strike. Stephen Black has been able to cut his way through the field up into 7th position. And it looks like Brandon Fiedler is struggling as he's falling down into 10th. However, these cars in front of them and around them are all going to have to pit in, more than likely, because they cannot make it to the end on fuel. Or if they can, it's going to be very close. Almost a collision there between Fiedler and Ems. See Paul there running in 11th. He was running in 5th when we last talked to him. Unfortunate to see him now struggling for a position as he dives up there on the inside there, the 39. Going to make a bit more of a recovery. Same with Hallahan. He was doing real well earlier on. Looks like he is definitely struggling for pace now. Brady Floyd has a solid 8th position. It's been a while since we've last seen him out in the field. He's got Richard Drake behind. These two have been very close to each other this entire event so far. However, it has not led into anything quite yet. However, it's also not the last lap. So, we're going to see how that develops as we continue here at Pocono. Not a lot of action going on. I think a lot of these guys just want to finish out this race almost very close to the wall there for the 20 and the 41. Stephen Black, though, he's currently the latest car that pitted in first, furthest ahead. He's got to chase down Michael Sparks, though. That is a huge gap between them. You can see there on the left-hand side of your screen, almost 10 seconds between them. He has got a ways to go. And hopefully his internet can hold up, because it looks like he's having a bit of popping issues there, too. Thank you once again to everybody that has shown up to these events. I greatly appreciate it, as does everyone else. Brian Fradienne continues to lead. Jeffrey Belk has taken away that 2nd place position. He's now going to get a push there, as we just saw from his teammate there, Wes Gallo, who's going to try his absolute best to hold up Greg Snellgrove. Does not want to let him through at all. Starting to give me some Darlington throwback vibes that we got earlier on. We got to see that last season there at Darlington. The last lap, and we saw Greg Snellgrove throw it on the inside of Belk, taking him out of the race just to get a podium position. That was a very interesting move. We're going to see what he's going to be able to do here tonight. Maybe he's going to do the same to Wes Gallo. He wants that podium. He needs to get more points ahead of his main rival right now, Brandon Fiedler. He's got it, though. It's going to be a continued battle there as we're on lap number 55, coming to 56. The fuel meter must be right on E. Brian Fradienne still has the lead, though. So clearly he knows what he is doing. He's got a very big plan. Maybe he's hoping to run far, far away. He's got 20 seconds on to Stephen Black behind. However, it takes longer than 20 seconds to run through the pits. Michael Jennings currently running in 5th position there in the Checkered Leopard LLC. Get to see him out here. Mr. Hybrid himself. As I said before, maybe he's hanging back just to save that much more on fuel. Just going 3/4 throttle. Not trying to push it too hard. And he's going to cruise himself up to a nice, easy victory. He's got a big gap between himself and Stephen Black behind. I don't think Michael is worried at all. One thing he does need to be worried about a little bit, though, is going to be Michael Sparks behind, who's going to want to get some positions on him as well. So get to see these two and LaPierre race by the camera. I'm at 42, man. Interesting paint scheme choice, but I know that he definitely made it himself, and it's definitely amusing. I got to give him that. Jennings continues to run in 5th. Rob Carl able to get the position on Hallahan further back. Hopping back up towards the front, we see Belk has closed in towards the leader of Fradian. However, Greg Snellgrove hoping to make a move. He knows it's time. It's running down to the wire. He takes the bottom there on West Gallo. You don't think of it, sometimes a battle for 3rd really is a very important spot. Whoa, very close. They're almost into the wall. Then Snellgrove there for Gallo. Very close. Oh, you can see him right there. This is dangerous games to play. You do not want that iRacing netcode to take each other out. Oh no, it's close. Almost to the wall there, but we see that Gallo's been able to hold onto it. West is securing his position. He wants an EG 1-2, kind of 3. As Greg continues to fall off just a little bit there, but you can see it pays off later into the turn. It goes up to out wide. Block again from the 07. Not going to be letting him through, slamming the door on him. Making this race very difficult as we go into the afternoon here in Pocono. That is Long Pond, Pennsylvania. It's been a great race that we've had so far here tonight. I got to appreciate everybody coming out for it. As we run down to the wire, 3 laps to go. Fradian continues to lead. I am telling you, if this is his strategy and it's going to get him the race win, I am not only going to be impressed, it is a miracle that he's going to be able to do it. I mean, that fuel window is extremely tight. Maybe it's not even for him. Maybe he wants to give Belk a chance to get at it. As we see Snellgrove there looking to the bottom once again. They're on the 07. He's almost got it there. That Atlantic Carrier Chevrolet is the only Chevrolet up here right now. But it looks like he just doesn't have the pace going down the front stretch because he's got no draft. These Toyotas are not going to be helping him one bit. They are all part of the same team, minus Greg. So they're going to all try to do anything they can to keep Snellgrove out of it. 2 to go here at Pocono. A tricky triangle where everything is thrown back to the old days. Think about it, each of the NASCAR events and the events we tried to put on here come back to the good old days of racing where all stock cars drove around horse racing tracks, and they're kind of like state fair attitudes. I know Pocono tries to do that. They always put on a good show just like it every single time. Teammates all very close together, hoping to run away from 4th there. I think that moving chicane known as West Gallo is going to be keeping up Snellgrove for as long as possible. As we head down through the front stretch, Brian Fradian is going to take the white flag. It's 1 to go. Lap 60 of 60. We see Snellgrove desperate, dives down to the bottom. He is not going to give any qualms at all as he takes it. Gallo still gives him room, though it's going to be close between them. I would not be surprised if we see some tire smoke soon. Yes, I know, Matt. Watch them all run out of fuel. I am waiting for it to see if that's going to happen or if they have just enough to coast to the end. Snellgrove able to get by into 3rd. I think Jeffrey Belk is having some PTSD right there as he sees that 22 right behind him now as they are here at Pocono, and it's not too much longer until Brian Fradian is going to try to take it away to the best of his ability. Here it comes now. This is going to be an entirely extremely close fuel run. I think they're starting to sputter. Fradian pulls it off. Oh my goodness, Greg Snellgrove goes down. He goes off into pit lane. Jeffrey Belk does not let him have it. Wes Gallo finishes 2nd. Brian Fradian wins, and Jeffrey Belk finishes 3rd. It's an Equipment Geek 1, 2, 3. These guys have had a very interesting race here tonight at Pocono. Michael Jennings is going to finish in 5th. Stephen Black in 6th. Drake 7th. Brady Floyd in 8th. Fiedler gets 10th as Paul Ems was able to take 9th. What an event, honestly. Sparks able to take 11th place after that one. What a finish towards the end. Michael Jennings now actually increased up into 4th because Greg Snellgrove got a penalty for speeding in pits, I believe. That also pushes Stephen Black up into 5th. Jennings up with a top 5 finish. I know he's going to be happy with that, but look at that. It's an EG 1, 2, 3. I know these guys are elated right now. I can already sense it. Seatbelt going to pull off. Brian Fradian coming now to do his his front stretch burnouts, the ones he's definitely earned here at Pocono. That Victos machine it's been a while since we've seen it in victory lane. He got himself the stage win, got himself the race win. He's going to be securing himself maximum points here tonight. The fact he had enough fuel to do a burnout, too. Honestly, I can't believe it. These guys had a very interesting strategy, and it worked out as we see Wes Gallo doing his burnouts on pit road. Brady Floyd in front of him as well. They're going to do a front-to-front burnout, I think. Am I about to be let down here? I think so. Figures. Still, what a finish. Brady Floyd able to take... Where did he finish? 7th. He took 7th. There in the number 24 Cloak.net machine. Michael Sparks in 10th there, we can see with this car. And that is going to be the end of our race event. Wow, what a finish there with your top 4. I think Greg is going to be a little bit upset over that one. Just have this teensy-weensy little feeling about it. I don't know about you. All right, let's go and bring up your third place finisher, though, Jeffrey Belk. What his thoughts are and just what happened. Jeff, let's open the booth. Do you read me?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing well, but it looks like you're doing even better, able to secure yourself that third place finish with a huge defense amount, too. Wow, what a finish.
I know if it hadn't been for me going into the wall and Greg just following me straight up there, he would have beat Wes.
Well, what happened, and you got yourself the podium finish, but what a run you had just at the end anyway, able to stay in second for a majority of that time. What allowed you to do it? What kind of speed did you find the hacks in or something?
The speed was found in going slow, so we did not pit at all that second half of the stage. We came in with coming to 1 to go on the stage caution, refueled, and we had just enough to get to the finish line and have enough to get back to pit road.
That is an incredibly close run. I am impressed to no end. The fact you guys have been able to do that and get yourself points that... Brian said he had an interesting strategy. It looks like he definitely did.
Yeah, Wes made the call, and we decided to go with him, and we were able to save enough right there to make it to the end, just barely, but, I mean, you saw Brian's burnout. He had enough time to do, 3 seconds of burning and then done.
Yeah. Still,
go ahead.
Still an absolutely impressive event out of you guys. I mean, just the teamwork you guys all have. I'm at a loss for words. I wish I could say more.
Yeah, just, again, great call by Wes to come in like he did. Brian, he's already fallen into that trap one time before. He could have won the race last season at Las Vegas. And he didn't come in on that last caution, and that ended up costing him the win. So he's been in that situation. Wes made the call. We decided, go for Jennings' strat. Jennings does it every week. He's got to work sometime.
Well, it clearly worked out for all of you as Michael Jennings is able to finish 4th as well.
Yeah, good job to him.
See, look at that. All right, well, Jeff, thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate it. Who do you think for such a great race car?
Oh, of course, as always, 4 O'Clock Media, NASCAR Geek, Equipment Geek, Sports Star Shock, everyone. Back at EGR, all my teammates. This race wouldn't have been possible without them. We would have ran out of fuel 5 laps before the line. You, as always, for broadcasting, everyone out there for tuning in.
All right, thank you much for your time once again, Jeff. I do appreciate it, and congratulations on the 3rd place finish.
Thank you very much.
Jeffrey Belk able to finish 3rd in the 55 Forklift Media Chevrolet Camry. There we go. All right, it's going to bring up your 2nd place finisher, Wes Gallo. I'm fascinated to see how this is going to go. Weston, open the booth. Do you read me?
Sure do. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I imagine that you must be elated, able to secure a 2nd place finish.
If you're not first, you're last.
I mean, you say
it was definitely a cool race. If I wasn't having to fight Grug so much there in the last few laps, I feel like I had a chance at a win. But either way, I'm more than excited to be getting a P2 still.
I mean, that's still an Equipment Geek. I know Fisher Sport for you, but still, I mean, you guys all work together. That's a 1, 2, 3.
EGR, baby, it's the gold standard. Coming for another, let's go for back-to-back championships on the team side.
I think you guys are definitely on the route to do it, especially with a points night like tonight. I know Jeff said that you made the call to go in. What inspired you to do it?
I don't know. I overthink everything and kind of, I just, I knew Jennings was gonna try the strat. That's what he always does, and I feel like the only way you could beat him would be to join him. And we have better pace than him, so just use his strategy, getting a tow together, and run away with it, save gas when you can.
Makes sense to me. It definitely worked out in your favor. Able to secure a P2 for Fisher Sport
Yes,
Racing.
sir.
That's a nice, good points boost, especially after your race win you had before too.
Winners win. I didn't win today, so I don't know what that tells you I am, but
All right. Well, who do you have to thank for such a great race car here tonight?
got weak designs on the car this week. Helmet Stalker, Equipment Geek, Weak Enterprises, Four Cloak Media, Power Balance, all the guys at EGR, boys back at the shop, um, and I think my girlfriend and my friend Joel are watching. So hi, Kelly and Joel.
All right. Well, thank you much for your time, Wes. I do appreciate it. Congratulations on the second place finish.
Hey, thanks. Congratulations on beauty.
As I said, you never know how it's going to go there with Wes in it. Every time. Still, it's good to hear out of him, especially with a P2 finish. I know he's excited about that, and he definitely has earned the right to be. Let's go and bring up your race winner, Brian Fredian. Brian, some of the booth, do you read me?
Hello, I do.
Well, we talked earlier when you got the stage win, and here you are with the race win. Your strategy, as you said, was going to be spectacular either way, but it looks like it went your way.
It did, and that period after everybody else pitted, and I was just out front pushing air. I was like, all right, time to put the clutch in 1, 2, and 3 for a long period of time to make sure that I actually can save the fuel.
I'm honestly at a loss for words. I've been at that the entire time between the three of you up in the podium. It's just the show you've been able to put on, able to dominate this entire race essentially in the second half is just second to none.
Yeah, I have a lot of that comes down to Jeff and Wes, and like the three of us just trying to work together. We had to get Wes and Jeff in front of Greg in order to give that buffer in order to make the strategy work, and they were able to do it. So big hats off to them.
For sure. I mean, just I have to ask, where did the speed, not just in the fuel strategy, but overall, where did it come from? We saw it towards the end of your stage one run. What is the tip for a Pocono?
For me, like after this race, we went through and we looked at everybody's tire wear, and I don't know if it's the combination of trying to save for fuel, but I was able to save a ton of tires. I'm sure being out front and not having to deal with the dirty air helps with that, but really it was just like tire saving in combination with the fuel saving of being able to run consistent laps. I was kind of surprised myself.
It definitely worked out in your favor, though, able to secure the race win here at the Fun Tyler Strip 150. Who did the thing for such a great race car here tonight?
The guys at EG, again, the same like my Aunt B, Uncle Cliff, my grandparents, my parents, my wife. Like I said, having all of those people around me and wanting to see me be successful at this hobby means a lot to me.
I can definitely see how that is not only a huge motivation boost, but something to keep you moving every single day. Brian, thank you very much for your time. I greatly appreciate it, and congratulations on your race win.
Thanks, Noah. Means a lot. Thank you.
Number 81, Brian Fredian takes the victory here at Pocono to win. As I've said this entire time, I'm at a loss for words. The fact that they were able to pull off such an incredible finish on fuel strategy too. Just it shows the teamwork that not only Equipment Geek has, but sometimes the strategy calls that you can see out of people like Greg too, who know when the time is right to strike. Unfortunately, did not work out in his favor after especially hitting into pit road. But if he didn't follow Jeff into the wall, he definitely would have had himself a nice points finish. And he did finish behind his current points rival, Brandon Fiedler, who finished 9th. So, with that, this has been the Fun Tyler's Trip 150. Make sure you help Tyler out, make him go to New Hampshire this summer. Also got to give a huge thank you to Pierce Graphics, our overlay partner. Put on the fantastic overlays you see each and every single week here in the CASCAR Shorter Plumbing Cup Series, and of course a huge thank you to Shorter Plumbing, that family-run business over in Wisconsin that's in business for over 50 years, specializing in residential new construction and remodeling services. They work with local builders and you that are hoping to build your dream home or your own remodeling. Give them a call over at 262-971-0401. That is 262-971-0401. Shorter Plumbing. That's been it here with Four Cloak Media. You can check all of our stuff over on Instagram and our website. That is going to be www.fourcloak.net. Check out more on CASCAR at www.cascar.net. And of course, I'll see you all next time. Have a good one.